knock all packs, but we gotta knock those packs that. Girl, don't tell me we just now recording.
I know, baby. I'm sorry.
Oh, friend. So we gotta start over, friend.
Well, I think it was recorded. Hold on. Oh, it was recording. I just
We was
wasn't
recording.
live.
Okay, so now we live. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I didn't.
to all your listeners out there on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, we live.
Right, because I was like, hold on, I don't think, because I haven't worked this in 8 months, y'all.
I get it. I get it. I ain't gonna, you know what? I ain't even gonna shame
But I'm recorded. So
it's
that's
recorded.
fine. That's fine.
Period. But no, seriously, like when it comes down to political packs and things of that nature, we can't judge our political pack. We can't lump them all into the same bunch, just like you can't lump all bad candidates into the same barrel, or all bad actors in police. Like you can't put one bad actor into the barrel of police officers and say all police officers are bad, because that's not the truth. So we have to look at each one and see what each one does, and then measure them by what they put their money to and who they give their money to. Just like companies, like certain companies I just won't do business with because I know who they support. And those people support my oppression. And I can't give my dollars to my oppressor to continue to oppress me.
Yeah.
So
I've been doing that with McDonald's. I have to be Googling. I'm like, okay, do they support?
Right, like you can look at companies' financials and you can see everything that who companies give to, how much they give, how much they have given to each candidate. Some companies, some organizations, they give to both Democrats and Republicans. So you really can't say, like Microsoft, they give to Democrats and Republicans. Apple, they give to Democrats and Republicans. I know Starbucks does. They give to Democrats and Republicans. So you can't judge organizations by sometimes who they give their money to, or by what they give their money for.
Right.
And what's the outcome of what they're trying to do. Like you got Bank of America, they're supposed to be giving money to Black organizations and Black people, but then you got the DEI claims coming through the federal court. So that nixes those organizations and those programs. So where's the money going?
Right.
You didn't raise all this money on the word that you're giving it to African American organizations and African American communities and Black brown communities and women, especially Black women. Then where are you going? Where's the dollars?
Right.
Because I like to follow the money.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. And I think we went on a tangent, but that's the name of the show.
Period. We did.
Right.
We did.
Okay.
But circling back.
Right. So Biden stepped down.
Yeah, he stepped down.
He stepped down, I think, for the good of America.
He did it for democracy.
Right.
Because we saw that debate. And I know a lot of my followers on Facebook are going to be, because I have a lot of seasoned followers, and they are going to be very upset with me. But that was like watching a plane crash over and over again. Like that was like watching my grandfather, who fought in World War II, who would have been Biden's age at this time, like literally try to fight for his life. And like you could tell Biden was waking up towards the end. Like the last 30 minutes, Biden was giving it to him. And like you could see like Biden was coming in and coming out, like old Biden, the Biden that we was used to. You know, he was coming in and coming out. It was like watching, those old TVs where you had to get the down.
Oh yeah, you just had to get that.
Yeah, see, I'm aging myself, but that's fine. Yeah, you had to get the down right, had to get the bunny ears together. But that's what that was that debate. And it was so sad. And like his poll numbers was not that great before going into that debate. And he was hoping that after that debate, he would have a rebound in his poll numbers. And we didn't see that. We saw a complete crash, and we saw the donors close their book.
Yep. Because because again, like no shade to older people. When I saw him with his mouth agape, I was like, oh no.
And see, that's the look that he normally would give. Like, is this person really serious? But at his age, that doesn't give that. That doesn't convey that look. That conveys the look of I don't know who I am right now.
Exactly. And that was. I think that was almost the nail in the. I think that was the nail in the coffin. Really, it's just like.
I think the nail in the coffin was when you had people that he served with in the Senate say that he needed to step aside.
Other old folks that need to step aside.
Right, like Nancy Pelosi. Like, I love Nancy. Nancy did her thing. She held it down when Trump was in office. She is a G. And I'm going to always respect Nancy Pelosi. But Nancy needs to retire as well.
Nancy Schumann.
Along with Jim Clyburn, Chuck Schumer. There is a long list, Susan Collins. There is a long list of individuals who need to retire from office.
Yeah.
And that is on the federal level and on the state level as well. And it is sad that people like to, like what you said, die with power in their hands instead of actually building political power and getting the next generation, tapping the next individual to let everybody know this is going to be the individual that I have tapped to replace me when I am ready to go or when I die.
Right. And somebody made the comment, they were like, well, there's no one that could take my place. And somebody was like, why haven't you been creating that person, grooming that person, setting
exactly
up? Like, to me, what they should have been doing in the first place, going back to Biden, because we're about to go on the tangent. I felt it. I knew it. Because what Biden said he was going to do, like you said, bridge that gap. I was like, okay, but I was going to vote for him because I was no way going to vote for the Orange Man.
Right.
But I was like, I'm going to vote for Biden. But because he also said, I'm going to bridge the gap for the younger generation, I was like, bet, let's go ahead and get Kamala. And so, but then we didn't see her for 4 years, damn near. So,
right.
Can you, like, since you know, like, the political gang, can you tell us, like, what was she doing?
My girl was working. I'm not even going to play it. My girl was working like it was a serious matter. Hashtag it. Kamala, put that on the shirt, baby. That's free game. I'm going to let you have that one.
Before we get to that, she needs some millennial and Gen Z strategists on social media because they were already doing it for free. Somebody said they need to do Make America Laugh Again, so it'll be Mala. And I was like, I get that. I put that on, and it'll be blue. I do that.
Right. But
come on.
It has been a serious matter for her since she stepped into her role as vice president. One thing that I love the fact that he and Republicans are gonna bash her on this, but if she spins it right and actually tells the truth, it is gonna work in her favor, and that's going to be her working with Central American countries on stopping the crisis at the border.
Okay.
What is it going to take?
I've not heard anything about that.
Right, like she went to Honduras, she went to El Salvador, San Salvador, she went to Mexico, she went to the Central American countries to see exactly what can be done on that end to stop the flow of migrants crossing the border illegally, and what can we do to bring down the influx of asylum seekers from Central America, because that's the reason why they're here. They really are truly a majority asylum seekers.
Yeah,
because they're running from the cartel, they're running from the gangs. They want to be able to live and be able to spend their money where they want to actually spend their money. They want to see their sons live past the age of 17 or not, or without having to join a gang or join a cartel to live past 17. They want to be able to see their daughters not being raped and tortured and sold into sex trafficking, because that's what's being done.
Right. Also, they're not rapists, and all of them coming over here, rapists and murderers and cartelists and terrorists. Like, they like to politicize and publicize on other media that they're literally just people, mothers, sons, daughters, fathers, just trying to have a better life to be safe.
Exactly. And when she begins to humanize the individual and put a face and put a name, because there are individuals that we see every day. They're the cooks. They're the maids at the hotel. They're the ones who are putting on your roof. They're the ones who's doing the construction work in the 100-degree weather. They are the ones who are actually keeping this nation going. They're the ones who are doing the jobs that we don't want to do. Let's just be real.
I heard recently, like in Florida, that they have such a low amount of domestic workers that now they have to actually start raising the prices for anybody to work it, because nobody's going to work for what a migrant or a person who immigrated over. And so now they need to raise them. And I said, because America is so stuck on these slave wages and keeping the bottom line so low, that you have to just basically just work your entire life to get by. But like the people who were born here, they're like, no, I can't be working for no pennies, baby. I got real dollar problems.
Especially like if I'm outside picking oranges or picking grapes, or I'm out here doing strawberries. That's real. You're talking about Florida. That's the migrant. Florida is an agriculture state. A lot of people don't understand it, but it is an agriculture state. So a lot of your soybeans, your grapes, your oranges, your apples, your I say strawberries, all of your fruits and stuff like that, that comes from Florida, that comes from Arizona, that comes from states like California, Alabama. Those are your agriculture states. They're not going to. I know I won't. I'm not working for that, and I'm not doing that type of labor. So who are we going to have it? Those are not African-American jobs, as he would say. But I know what is a black job. The president of the United States.
The future president of the United States is what? No, actually it was. It has been a black job.
It has been a black
and
job.
It can be a black job again.
So, and so that's what we have to just keep in mind. To all of my disillusioned African-American men who are still drinking that Trump juice, I just want to let you know, there will be no more Trump checks. If that's what you're thinking, that's not going to happen. If you think that he's going to create an economy that's going to actually work for you, when his own administration was sued by black farmers for not giving them the federal dollars that they actually deserve, then he's not going to do it for you, and you're working of 9 to 5 or 3 to 11 or 12 to 6, or you out on the corner being a entrepreneur or pharmaceutical salesman.
We ain't getting no more checks, you guys. First of all, let's just tell him he didn't give us the checks because he didn't want to. The American government, the IRS, gave us those checks.
Well, and all the Democratic Party.
The Democratic Party. And the only thing he did was sign it. So, because the one thing about Trump, I would give him his credit, he is a marketing genius. Or his people, he knows how to market himself to the people that have not been marketed to. I think that's what it was. And I think that's, to go to another tangent, we're going to go back to Kamala and how Kamala, Lord, I keep blackifying it.
You said it right, Kamala.
Oh, I did. Okay. I thought, I can't even hear it. But anyway, so I want to know.
Kamala.
Long as it's not like Kamala, Kamala Harris, like Ben Shapiro as Kamala Harris. Ugh.
Well, getting to her ticket, I think that she should pick a Southern Democrat. I think she should pick Andy Beshear or Roy Cooper from North Carolina. Preferably, I would like Andy Beshear because he's young.
Yeah.
I know his work. I saw what his dad did for the Commonwealth. I saw I've seen what he has done for the Commonwealth. And for him to be a two-time Democratic governor elected in a Republican state that went 20% for, 20 points for Donald Trump. I mean,
Because then that would have been considered that a swing state, because that's what they've been talking about, that she should get someone from a swing state.
Now, that Kentucky would not be considered a swing state because it is a definitely ruby red state. But a swing state is like North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada. Those are your swing states. And because now that we have a energized nominee at the top of the ticket, you can say that all down ballot races now are energized, and we can expand the electoral map.
Right. Okay. Whew. Anyway, so one thing I want to go back to, she went to the Central America. Now, was she able to make any movements or get any headway?
Yeah, she was able to make movements, was able to make headway, was able to get federal dollars to go to those countries in order to beat back that crime. And so that they can build back better as well, because they were heavily affected by COVID. And since then, we have seen a downtick of illegal crossings at the border, at the southern border. And last month was the lowest of illegal crossings in the last 4 years.
Right.
So
the Democratic Party has a really bad messaging problem, though.
A horrible messaging problem.
They don't talk. I don't know what they do. I know what they do, but they don't. They don't talk enough.
I'll tell you exactly what it is. They get into the echo chambers, and they get into the beltway of DC, and so they don't speak American. Does that make sense? Like, they don't know how to just make it plain to where a regular individual can understand. But you know who does? The Republican Party. And being in a ruby red state, I have learned messaging from watching Republicans. Like, they are, you can't.
They are quick to the point.
Quick to the point. 5 words, six syllables at the max. Boop, 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 bam. And there it is.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to do it.
Yeah. And
God bless America.
Exactly. Because really, that's all we really want to hear, because we've been yanked for so long. Our chain has been yanked for so long that we just like, get to the point. Just get to the point. Tell me what you're finna do, because I got to go to work. And this long drawn out stuff is not getting me to work on time. It's not getting me more dollars in the bank. The inflation is insane. And I have a question about that, because just in general, just a little quick off the topic. What can a president do about inflation, if anything?
Well, but being the progressive that I am, I believe that the president can do a lot regarding inflation.
Right, because I figured,
would it be legal? That's up for the judicial.
But now presidents can do what they want. So come on, I knew a little something.
This is what I would do. I would gather all of our major corporations into one room and say, guys, you got to quit gouging.
Yeah,
you've recouped everything that you lost and more. You build back better.
Right.
Like
you still rich, what I'm saying.
Like, period. Like, you have built back better, guys. Like, it is time to bring these prices back to pre-COVID area. Mm-hmm. Once we do that, I mean, and it can be done, but it has to be done first through gas. Because that's the reason why everything is so high, because everything is transported in this country.
True.
With trucks.
Yeah. And I work in logistics, so it makes that,
Yeah, like, so you bring down the price of gas, which Biden has worked tirelessly to do. We are drilling more oil than we did under President Trump.
In America.
We are leading actually right now the world in natural gas output.
Okay.
Because the Saudis who control OPEC, which is a gang of organizations who control the world's oil. Okay. So you got countries like Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Qatar, Russia, right. All of those countries, Venezuela, they have the most oil, so they control OPEC. And they decided this year and for the past 3 years not to produce the amount of oil that they were producing during COVID. So
they reduced their supply so they can increase demand.
Right.
And then they can crash gas it. Okay.
Right. And so that's the reason why we have high gas prices. So you can't fault Joe Biden for gas prices. Fault the Saudis.
Okay. And a lot of people don't understand that. They be like, blame Joe Biden for this. But I'm just like, the corporations. And then what made me so mad is like we had that Kellogg leak where let them eat cereal. They still gonna buy it. I was like, right. Me neither. I said, let me go ahead and get this great value.
or I get Post because I love Post anyway because they have a healthier choice.
Or I get the great value Nutri-Grain bars because I really love great Nutri-Grain bars.
I'm crying. Oh gosh. But yes, but like right. But that's where we are when you talk about bringing down the cost of goods. The cost of transportation for those goods is baked into the cost. And then also is baked into the cost, the tax to make those goods. Then what's baked into the cost is the production of the goods. And then the pay for the individual who made the goods. So when you start talking about bringing down the cost, you got to look at all of that and say, well, where are we going to cut and where are we going to be able to bring down the cost? Where is the baseline at to actually drive down costs? And the only way to drive down costs is to find different modes of quick, faster, reliable, safer transportation, which gets to our next point of what did Joe Biden and Kamala Harris do for the past 4 years?
One other thing, I'm sorry, I just wanted to mention, because you mentioned Build Back Better. I want people to remember when he was working on that, he also had moderate Democrats. Wasn't it Gretchen or one of the something?
Christian Cinema and Joe Manchin from West Virginia.
Yes, they were, and they were also holding up what was going on in our government because, but also I want to get to, I know you're probably going to talk, I want to know why also that Joe Biden ain't doing these executive orders like Trump did. So,
I think Joe Biden is just, he's playing it safe right now to make sure that he's setting up Kamala for a good win. And I get that.
He don't need to play
safe. And I understand. Yeah. But in order to get your agenda done, and you see that you don't have a working partner in Congress, then sometimes you have to go it alone. Yeah. And a lot of people don't understand that phrase in politics, and I don't understand why. But but when you say go it alone, that means that you're gonna take this an issue, and you're gonna make it your top issue, and you're gonna take it all the way to the finish line. Even if you have to spend all your political capital in order to make it happen, because you believe so fervently that this issue is the key issue, the cornerstone, the bedrock in order to build on everything else.
So kind of like Obamacare, that was like.
And that's right, and that's what he did. He saw that he didn't have a willing partner, so he went along and he held Democrats' feet to the fire and said, hey, you want that bridge in the next fiscal year? Then I need you to vote for this.
Right.
You want this study done? Then I need you to vote for this. And that's what you call spending political capital is. That's what LBJ did. And that's what he did for the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act of 65 and 68. That's what he did in order to break down barriers and build bridges. And that's what you call bending the arc
okay.
to a more social and just society.
Okay.
And, I just feel like Biden was so boggled down, just like LBJ was with the war in Vietnam. He was boggled down with the war in Ukraine and the war in Palestine. I know a lot of people say Israel, but Israel-Palestine. And that is the reason why he wasn't able to really maneuver the way he wanted to. Plus, he lost the chamber of Congress. And he lost it to a point where he saw that he couldn't get a lot of legislation done because he didn't have willing partners. Like, they would lie. They would tell him in private meetings that they were willing to work with him and then come out and do the opposite thing. Or once T-Daddy found out that, and for your viewers who doesn't know who T-Daddy is, that's Donald Trump. Once T-Daddy found out that, oh, well, we're going to be able to get a border deal worked out, vote against it. There was a border deal on the table that could have went across and been voted for, ratified in the Senate. This Congress. Yeah. This Congress. Not last Congress, but this Congress.
Right.
So the work was being done.
Yeah.
So it's just that he didn't have willing partners. I feel like he was afraid to pull that trigger. I would have done it. They said when Obama was writing the executive orders that he was a king. They would create cartoons of him in the newspaper, with him sitting on the throne with the big ears and things of that nature with the hat. And I would have done the same thing in order to get my agenda done, because at the end of the day, I know that I'm going to be passing the torch. So this is my one and done. So I got to do what I got to do in order to staple my name in history.
He was playing, and that's the one thing I feel like Democrats typically do, just in general, is play way too safe. Republicans, they don't care. They, like when Mitch McConnell steamrolled Obama's pick for the Supreme Court over some bullish rule that he didn't even keep himself when it came down to T-Daddy, Donald T.
Right, like he was
he's making him actually sound too cool. I'm gonna have to stop calling.
Like Mitch McConnell, he said after the press conference, "I'm the leader of the Senate. We got the majority. What you gonna do about it?"
Right.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Carry on. And those was his exact words. Like, people be like, "Oh, Mitch McConnell, such a statesman." No, you have T-Daddy because of Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell gave away his power when he could have impeached Donald Trump.
Right.
But he said in the last impeachment trial that the courts would decide. Well, we see what the courts are doing now.
Oh my God. Blatant.
We see what the courts are doing now.
Blatant. And it's just like now finding out.
There is a two-tier of justice.
What's this? Two-tier justice? What's that?
So there is a two-tier justice where you have rules for thee, but no rules for me.
Oh, okay.
Donald Trump, he can definitely hide all of the documents, steal all of the documents, have them in the bathroom, in the broom closet, in the basement with the picture next to the Russian witch. Like, he can do it all. Yeah, reference to American Horror Story.
Okay.
So, all of the American Horror Story fans, they'll get it. So it's a two-tier justice system where there are rules for thee, but no rules for me. And that's not how our democracy was written. And we see a judge who is blatantly going against the rule of justice and creating her own interpretation of the law. Now, when Democrats or activist judiciaries do it, they say that we are like I just said, creating the law. are creating a new interpretation of the law instead of how the law was written at the time that it was written. Well, when you do that, when you interpret the law that at the time that it was written, most of the laws that we adhere to now in our current day were written when I wasn't a person.
Oh, yeah. Wait, you are 3/5. You're 3/5. Right?
I wouldn't even consider that.
Oh,
I wouldn't even be considered that.
Right.
Being a gay black male, you wouldn't even be considered that, not even 3/5. So therefore, you have to really push the envelope in justice to find justice. And that's what our judicial system should be doing in every Donald Trump case, in every case. Even if you look at the case with Young Thug in Atlanta, like that was a horrible display of judicial temperance by that judge who decided to have an ex parte without having, which is a private meeting with your with the prosecutor, the witness, but without the defendant or the defendant attorney being present. So that's like, you can't do that in a court of law. So I mean, he had to eventually recuse himself, and he's one of us. So that just shows you that our
skin folks ain't your kin folks.
So you just gotta look at that, because I mean, and I'ma just be real. Woody, young blood, Woody, Woody, the guy who was testifying, who was supposed to be state witness.
Oh,
KKK. He was
KKK.
supposed to turn on Young Thug, but he didn't, because he didn't answer no questions. He answered questions without answering questions, and that is who I would always want to testify for me.
Because then he like the fifth, or like just kind of just ask the question or something.
He answered questions without answering the question and answered the question. So therefore, that's who I would always want to. He needs to testify for me at every given time. Yeah. That's who I'm gonna put on the line. Go ahead.
The one thing, and then we are going to talk about what Kamala and Biden did during their term. My last question is, what about the Supreme Court? Why haven't Biden just go ahead and expand the Supreme Court? Because I know he's done a lot, but there's a lot of things that he could have done better, of course. Like, he definitely could have made sure that Roe was protected and consecrated law. He definitely could have made sure affirmative action was consecrated law. But they didn't do that.
Yeah. Because again, I mean, when you almost 100, you're a little slow on things. No shade to Biden, but that's what it seems like to me. Like,
that's what it feels like. Oh no, we lost our baby. We lost you for a second.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, guys. But it was so much going on. It wasn't. Some people just can't compartmentalize. I'll just put it to you like that.
I know I couldn't. So I get it.
I love compartmentalization because as a person who has ADHD, it helps me focus. It helps me move from task to task to task. So that helps me by compartmentalizing. But I guess that wasn't a goal or something that his administration could effectively do in order to meet the moment for those two issues that you just named, like codifying Roe. They saw it on the horizon. Codifying affirmative action. You saw in Clarence, when Clarence Thomas wrote his dissension for gay rights, he talked about affirmative action in his dissension. He talked about women's reproductive rights in his dissension. And that was a dog whistle to the Heritage Foundation to say, hey, get your guys in line, because this is what we finna get ready to do. And then we gonna bring up Donald Trump to make it happen. And that's what they did. And so Biden had a chance to pack the court. when he created his Supreme Court commission, he could have expanded the court the same way FDR threatened to do in order for Congress to pass his Relief Act in the 30s during the Depression. He had to threaten to pack the court because the court was going to overrule and say that he didn't have the authority to pass such a dramatic economic relief, because the power of the purse strings lies with Congress. It lies with the House. And so that's the reason why he said, well, I'm going to expand the court so I can get what I need to get done. And that's what Biden should have done.
Yeah. Who is his strategist? Because I need you to become his strategist.
Well, it's a little too late for that.
I know. At least you need to send him an email. Be like, okay, look, Robinette.
Robinette, child.
Just go. Because like I was talking to my cousin. I was just like, you ain't got shit to lose now, buddy boo. Go ahead.
Like, honestly, like you got a couple of months. I would go ahead and do everything that I wanted to do.
Right.
But I guess he's not trying to rock. He's not trying to rock the boat because we are in the midst of an election. Ugh. And so, like, maybe after the election, we'll see what he does. Like, she wins in November. We'll see if they crank that thing up. But one thing I can say that I am glad that he was able to do and get it done through his Department of Education was the millions of people who was able to get financial relief through the SAVE Act, as well as millions of people who were not able to get their transcripts because they had some type of financial hold at their school, or let it be parking tickets, because you know the ticket nonsense was real.
My God, I didn't realize I had some until I tried to get my second degree. I was like, you still got about 30? What? I still got tickets out there. I was like, well, shit, my bad.
But now, you know, you can get your transcript. They can't hold your transcript anymore for any type of financial hold because the work is completed, and that's something that's just like them withholding your degree. They can't do that because it's
my stuff.
Period.
Right.
Because UTC friends, you'll never get a dime out of me unless it's through the alumni office. And that's it. Unless I want like my name on a brick or I end up coined up and put my name on a building.
Right.
Or something like that, then that's the only way that the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga will get some financial resources from me.
Look, they got enough. I still haven't got a chance to play in the ARC enough. Because clearly I know my checks paid. I should at least got 2 years free.
We should. I think like once it was built and you was there while it was being built, you should have been able to get like 2 to 3 years added onto your ID so you could come in free and stuff like that. But
I agree. You're welcome. You're welcome, students of UTC current.
Period. Because baby, we turned that thing up.
Man, I had a good time.
The Q pool parties.
Man, the lazy. Good times. McClellan.
Child.
Walking up Cardiac Hill. Now it's Cardiac Steps.
I don't get
that. The library. Okay. Shout out.
Man.
It's 20 years for us. It was 20 years for me.
Oh.
20 years, man. 2004. It's crazy. August 19th was when I started college, 2004. I can't believe it.
Oh, honey.
It's such a strange feeling. I still feel like
it was just yesterday.
Yeah.
I feel like I was just in undergrad. Like, we was just in the UC playing spades.
Yep.
Literally.
Yep. So, good times. Good times. Look at us now. Look at us.
Our professional.
Look at us.
I'm professional. Let me sit up. Get them up. Let me sit up. Give them this.
Professionalism is a product of white supremacy, so you're looking amazing. You don't have to be anything but yourself. All right, so look, you be who you are.
I am screaming. You are too silly. You are taking me to the moon and back, friend.
Okay, so thank you for answering my questions because those have been rattling my brain because I'm just like, bro, just do something, just go out with a bang. So let's talk about
Right.
let's actually talk about what they did during their presidency because again, like we said earlier, they have some of the worst messaging that I've seen because like at least with Trump. He shouted out from the rooftops, and the algorithms have hurt us. Like having algorithmic news has hurt us because we are in an echo chamber where all we hear is our same thoughts. And I can't help it when I hear like a lot of Republican stuff. It just sounds so hard.
But when you
My
think about
brain.
it, sometimes some of the stuff, and as a progressive Democrat, my Democratic friends gonna get mad at me for saying this, but some of the stuff that the Republicans be saying, they be right, but they don't know how to say it in the right way.
Like what?
Because Biden has done great. He did something that Trump wasn't able to do, and he had infrastructure week. And he put money into the nation's infrastructure.
Right. Like
We have the building of new bridges in Memphis. You guys are getting a new bridge that's going to connect Tennessee to Arkansas again. Because right now that bridge is I wouldn't cross it.
There we go. Oh, now let me tell you this real quick.
I think they shut it down too.
They shut it down, but when I went back to Memphis, I thought I was going over that bridge, honey. I scrimped. I'm like, no, I'm down.
Period. Yeah. Because
it wasn't.
He put millions of dollars into infrastructure. That's the first time that money has been put into infrastructure like that since the highway was built. And the highway was built back in the 50s during Dwight D. Eisenhower administration. And the only reason why the highway was built because it was built during the war, during the Korean War. And it was a military asset to be able to move our military products faster across the nation. And so that's the reason why we have
put me on knowledge.
So we haven't invested in our interstate and in our infrastructure, period, since the 50s. Then you got Flint. Flint finally got relief. They're still working on getting the pipes actually installed throughout all of Michigan, but Flint is getting relief. Dollars are coming to Flint, like because of rest in peace, Eric Mays.
Yes.
But because of Eric Mays, I follow Flint's politics.
Okay.
And so Flint is getting the dollars that they need. Now, are the dollars trickling down to the people? That's yet to be determined. So we're still watching if those dollars make it to the people that actually need it the most. But we can say that the dollars are there. When you look at places like in New Orleans where they have Cancer Alley, the EPA struck a mighty blow against those companies. But then you had the Supreme Court justice just this past term reverse what the EPA did and actually gutted the EPA. So I mean, the work was being done, and it was being done at such a fast pace that I fought his press secretary. Like, she was horrible at actually conveying what Biden was doing.
The new one or the previous one? Or
both. Oh. Jen Psaki and the new one. Like, just both. They were both horrible. He needed a stronger, more aggressive, more assertive press secretary who could tell the journalists in the room, in the White House, this is what our president is doing, this is the agenda, this is what he's done, and this is how we're going to get it done in the future if we have willing and working partners in both chambers of Congress. And then we got to have a Supreme Court justice that are going to take off their political robes and wear their judicial robes and actually apply the law as it should be applied to today's term instead of as it was written.
Now, would you think that because I know after Trump, during Trump's time frame, I was watching the news Because I couldn't help it. I was all about the news, but I ain't gonna lie, I was burnt out when we got Biden. I said, okay, maybe I got a little rest. But do you think, like, again, it's just part of the messaging that they're not omnipresent? Like, Trump was damn near fucking present. Do you think that's because the Biden just ain't making good news, or because he's not
He wanted
doing
to return back to
and
normalcy.
yeah.
He wanted to return back to normalcy. He wanted the news to just report on the issues of the day instead of, did the president take a squat in the front yard? Did the president cuss out the leader of Beijing? Did the president push the button today? What did he tweet? What did he eat? So, like,
what name did he misspell today? You know?
Right, like, he just wanted a return to normalcy to where the American people could just take a deep breath. But in taking a deep breath, he took the foot off of and I hate to say it, the propaganda machine. Because once you're in office, you're never not running a re-election. Like, just because you win a race don't mean, like, I'm good, I don't have to do any more work. Like, no, you're always running. Always be running. And you should always be collecting data. And you should always be collecting information. And you should be talking to the people who matter the most, the people on the ground. He should have, instead of talking to, spending most of his time with his elitist advisors, his academics, he should have been spending a lot of time with his state party chairs.
Okay.
And he should have been talking to his Southern party chairs. Because can't nobody tell you the oppression of a Republican than a Democratic state party chair. Because, especially in the South.
Right.
Because I know from experience, they are boggled down and they have so much that they're fighting against.
For example, are you talking like Justin, like the Justins in Tennessee?
Well, I say state party chairs, I'm talking about the individuals who actually run the state party. Like the
okay, like the state Democrats.
Yeah.
Okay.
The state party chair for Tennessee Democrats is Hildrell Remus. I know from experience that he has a personal relationship with the current vice president, but he should have had a working relationship with our current president. So our president could have had a pulse on what is going on in everyday life for what's going on in individuals with their everyday life, by what's happening. Because in a sense, you are in a ivory tower when you are the president. Like, for 4 years, you don't have to do nothing. Like, you don't have to leave the White House if you don't want to. Like, don't nobody go grocery shopping the president don't go grocery shopping. Like, he don't wash his clothes. He don't do that. Like, he don't go. Come on now, let's be real.
Right.
So that was an opportunity that was missed, I believe.
Yeah.
Where he could have convened all of his state party chairs and say, what's happening in your state? What can we do to advance my agenda in your state? And work with your congressional delegation, even if they're solely Republican. Because in Tennessee, we only have one Democrat in Congress. One.
Oh no.
Just one. And he's from Memphis.
Is is it the Justin dude?
No, he's in the state legislature.
Okay,
but
you see,
the older.
I appreciate you
because you keep giving Justin. You keep putting them up there.
Because that's the only one I know, Sean. I'm not. Look. Let me tell you. I know a little bit about a lot, but my local stuff, that's the problem. Like, I think with us, like our local political level, that is like over our heads, because that's what
it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
Because that's what we should be focused on every 2 years.
Yeah.
Every 2 years, we have a chance to reshape our state legislature. We have a chance to reshape our governor. every 2 years, we get a chance to vote out our Supreme Court justice. If we want to retain them or keep them, we get to vote out our appellate judges, retain or keep them. Like we got a lot of vote to vote for in Tennessee. Like there's a lot on the ballot.
And I love that you said that, because like I know this is more about talking about the choice between because I made choose between AK or KKK in November. But really we do need the civics lesson. Because
that's missing in school.
It's missing in schools, but also a lot of us in our we probably haven't learned this shit since high school. And then even then, we just like, okay. And we're always so burnt out by the political trials and tribulations of the federal side that we just like, I'll be fine. The federal side's everything, right? No. It's the top down. That we look at it top down when it's honestly should be a grassroots
from a bottom up, a middle out.
Exactly. We should be focusing on our local elections, because I didn't know that we can vote out our Supreme Court.
Yeah, on the state level. Yeah, you can.
Why can't we do that on the federal?
Because in the Supreme Court, in the Constitution, they made that they wrote in the law that the judicial branch, the Supreme Court, will have a lifetime appointment. So that's why. So that's the reason why I believe in term limits and believe that there should be a definitely constitutional amendment to a lot of things regarding reproductive rights, regarding voting. Voting should be made easier, not harder. We should be able actually to vote from the privacy of our own home with all of the technology that we have by logging into a very secure app, just the same way you log into the IRS system. If they can track us via IRS, they should be able to track our vote the same way.
Come on, let me go ahead and put my vote in and do these taxes, honey. Right.
I mean, it shouldn't be that hard to vote, and we should let everybody vote, because it affects us even if we are incarcerated or we're not. I believe.
Speaking of incarcerated people, if we got a felon running for president, then we need to go ahead and let all our federal people who have felonies vote.
Right, and hold elected positions. I mean, if they're running, if he's running, let's do it right. Let everybody run.
Right. But anyway, okay, so we went on a tangent, but I'm thankful because it's the education that we really do need. So let's just go ahead, because I know we're getting close to our time. So why should we choose Kamala?
We should choose Kamala because she is the best choice in preserving democracy.
Right.
We don't have a choice. Like, at this point, it's either we all are going to hang separately or we are all going to hang together, but we are all going to hang.
Yeah.
So to avert the hangman, let us put someone who we know is qualified, well-positioned, ready to be the commander-in-chief on day one to serve all Americans.
Yeah.
Even the ones who didn't vote for her, and make sure that justice is preserved, democracy is preserved, voting is preserved, women's rights are preserved and championed, education is championed, environmental justice is championed, social justice, economic justice, pulling ourselves from our bootstraps, by our bootstraps up. Even if we don't have the bootstraps, we get them to pull up. So that's what we talk about.
We need the damn bootstraps on, honey.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Like, we have a chance. This election will determine how this nation moves forward for the next 250 years. This election right here. The same way the election of Buchanan. The same way of Buchanan, where there was a chance to continue and extend the rights of African Americans after the war or after Civil War. And then we had that long duration of Reconstruction. and then we had the election of Buchanan, then there was a choice to be made. It's either you're going to continue, not Buchanan, Grant, Ulysses S. Grant. You had a choice, and you had a choice of either going with Southern Democrats who wanted to continue the way of the old South, or you had the elitist business owners who bought Grant and said, you have to end Reconstruction, or we're going to pull our money and support the Democrat.
And at the time, the Democrat was more the party of enslavement than anything, right?
Yes, at that time. And so that's what happened. And then you had the era of Jim Crow that didn't end until 1968.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Right, that's
when you put it like that, it's a long mother trucking time.
So this election will determine the trajectory of our nation for the next 250 years. No doubt about it. Every election, we always say this is the most pivotal election, the most critical election. But no, this one is.
Because really, our country would have been on a different trajectory even before this point if we would have gotten, what's his name?
Hillary Clinton.
No, even before then, the one that got stolen by Bush. Al Gore.
Al Gore, yeah.
Because Al Gore was the environmentalist. Like, who knows? Like, we probably would have had even a stronger environmental. We wouldn't be on the precipice of some climate catastrophes if we would have listened to that energy. Even with, like you said, John Kerry.
But John Kerry.
Yeah, John Kerry, Hillary. We just hit so many road bumps. And I think it just all started. Well, it's been like slowly turning us against each other even more and more and more. But I feel like when Obama came, it was like, the old racist ancestors popped back up and just like the birth of
they never went away.
They never went away. Yeah.
They just were quiet.
They were quiet.
And
they start saying the quiet parts out loud. That's what it was.
Right. And see, you had Newt Gingrich back then. And so a lot of people don't know about Newt Gingrich. And then you had real statesmen. Not saying that Newt Gingrich is a statesman, but he's far from it. But
shade, all shade.
No, it's the truth. Far from it. Anyone who cheats on his wife and then has unsolicited sex with young men,
Newt Gingrich,
and paid for by taxpayers' dollars.
I didn't know Newt was out here.
Newt Gingrich is definitely out here with it.
Really?
Yeah. Newt Gingrich.
You know who? Okay, side note. I just can't wait to hear the story. Is what's that guy from North Carolina? Lindsey Graham.
No, he's from South Carolina.
South Carolina, my bad.
And
but I can't wait to hear some stories.
He's the most bachelor. He's the oldest bachelor in DC.
I know what bachelor mean. Hold on, wait.
Yeah, all the way down. All the way down. But we, it's not my job to out anyone. I want everyone to live their truth. If that's your truth, live it, sis. But we know.
Lindsay, come on now. You can be free. Be who you are for your pride.
We know you celebrate pride.
You know that. Well, you know who was celebrating pride though? Them people out there when they broke Grindr on
let me tell you something. The RNC is all of the closeted conservative white men. I want all of you guys to
just come on.
Just vote. Just vote your interests.
Right. Just be free. Why? That's the one thing. Like I understand why they do it because of power, but I'm just like, bruh, like just be a better person. Like I just don't understand. And so going into kind of like how marginalized groups like to marginalize other people, Black men and I've been seeing also some Black women not trusting Kamala.
And that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And hopefully by November 6th, We have collected our brothers and sisters who have been put into the fields of Megaland, and we have stolen them away to freedom. And hopefully by then we are able to close the gap, because Trump is polling at 21% with the African American vote. Yeah. And that is a problem that's concerning. And I understand that some Black people that are very affluent, that are very rich, they are wealthy, they have that blue vein society, they want to keep that going, and they want to keep they want to keep that money flowing. And I understand. And you don't want to pay those taxes, and you don't want your children to have to mingle with certain other children. Well, at the end of the day, as I stated before, we are either going to hang together, or we are going to hang separately. Right. But we are all going to hang.
Because the thing that kills me about people who they choose the marginalization, they act like they're immune from it. Like
Tim Scott.
Oh, that man! I don't like to call Black people coons. I don't,
but I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is.
It's a coons, and that's a coon. But I hate that. But I'm just like, because I'm like, you're choosing to marginalize other people in hopes of getting in the big house. They don't want you there, period. They've done this over and over again, used us and our political clout and our power, and they still leave our asses on the back, like they did Herman Cain. My nigga was
rest in peace, Herman Cain.
Riding deep for Trump and still died of COVID, holding up lies and propaganda.
And that was some good pizza. He was over at Godfather's Pizza. He was the CEO for Godfather's. It was some good pizza. We used to have one in Chattanooga in Red Bank, right there, right out there. Yeah, back in the day. It was so good. I miss Godfather's Pizza,
but now our Godfather's Pizza is with the Lord. Hopefully.
Period.
He gonna find out that he gonna be outside the gates if he's still trying to get in the Magaland, honey.
Right.
They want you picking clouds, not come on, you outside. Okay, so anyway.
But I believe that Kamala has a very good chance, depending on who her VP pick is. I really believe that her VP pick should definitely be either Andrew Beshear, the governor of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, or Roy Cooper, who is the current governor of North Carolina, who is running for Senate. So I really believe that she should pick a Southern Democratic governor who has actually been able to get Republicans to vote for them.
Right. Now, what I've heard that she may be going with Pete, not Poop. My bad. Because I like Pete. But why don't we like Pete Buttigieg?
I don't think that it's Pete's time. A Black woman and a gay white man, that's just too much.
Too much progressive.
That's just too much sugar and spice on the ticket. And I can say that because I'm Black and I'm gay. And so I get a pass.
I believe it. I agree.
So it's just
the intersectionality is real with the shade.
Like it's just too much sugar and spice on the ticket, and it's just too much for America to take in. And they are really biting the bullets and biting their tongues right now, because I'm shocked they just haven't called her Black Aunt Jemima Negro.
They definitely doing it news. They're doing it somewhere.
Like, I mean, it's definitely on the tips of the tongues of many Congress.
They already called her Jezebel because she had a consensual relationship, I guess, with maybe a married man, or he was getting divorced or something at the time. I can't remember the story. I want her to confront the bullshit head on. Be like, but I didn't rape anybody and grab anybody by the pussy. I had a consensual relationship.
Hashtag it.
Yes. Yeah. I was 20, but I didn't rape people. And I didn't, and I don't have to pay people millions of dollars in civic lawsuits.
Still.
I need her to say it like that. Because the one thing about Black people, we love a strong person, but we also scared of a strong woman. We give respect when you see somebody hitting somebody up the
head. Yeah, you're right. What they and this is where Hillary Clinton missed the mark. Because when they were debating and Trump was walking behind Hillary Clinton, kind of like trolling her like a shark in water, like doodle, 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 like doing the Jaws thing. She should have turned around and grabbed herself and said, "Oh my God, are you going to steal this too?" Like, that's what she should have done. Like,
play into it.
Yeah, like, you got to play into it. And I'm pretty sure that's one reason why he doesn't want to debate Kamala, because she is Kamala, because she is I can't help myself. She's a prosecutor, and when you are a prosecutor, you have to be a wordsmith.
Yeah.
If you are not a wordsmith and know how to use your words, you're gonna lose every case.
Right. And she already said some really like tough stuff when she said, "I know his type." I was like, okay, sis.
Right.
She has to keep drilling on that. But she also needs to make her messaging clear, because when she was debating, when she first ran for president, I didn't know what she wanted. Like, we need people to be showing a definitive choice. And you cannot play both sides. Because the thing is, we already got too much. We need to see somebody who is definitive in what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. And she also needs to fight back. Call him out on his obvious lunacy and his potential dementia that he may have. Talk about that he grabbed bitches by the pussy, because he did, and because he said it. Remind us of his lunacy, his ludicrousness.
And they should be done on a local level as well.
Yeah.
We got some individuals that are running, especially in the Tennessee State Legislature, who should not be running. We got individuals who are almost in their 80s, who should be in their 80s by this weekend.
Oh, Lord.
We got individuals who have no real true connection with the communities that they say that they love and they serve.
Yeah.
We got Democrats who are voting against LGBTQ rights in our Tennessee State Legislature. Like, we got to vote them out. We got to put true progressive Democrats who are going to be of and for by the people.
Yeah.
And vote with the people in mind on every issue. And make sure that they are bringing the dollars needed back to their community. And so when I ask that everyone who is of voting age, when you do go to the ballot box, if you live in Chattanooga and you stay in District 28, I want you guys to go to the ballot box. You got until the 27th for early voting, and election day is August 1st. I want you guys to vote progressive. You got plenty of progressive Democrats on the ballot. One of my good friends is definitely on the ballot. I want you guys to vote progressive and make sure that you are holding your elected officials accountable. Say, hey, I haven't seen you in my community. You haven't knocked on my door. I haven't gotten a mailer. Why is that? And if you haven't gotten that, if they haven't worked hard for your vote, but you know a candidate has, you've seen this candidate out here knocking doors. You've seen this candidate on Facebook, on Zoom, on Twitter, getting into it, doing the work, putting feet to the ground, really, really knocking doors, making it work.
Yeah.
That's who you give your vote to.
And shout your person out. Go ahead and shout your person out. We don't have to stay nonpartisan over here, honey. I am for the progressiveness.
We're definitely supporting Demetrius Coonrod over here.
All right, Demetrius Coonrod. I live in Georgia, so I can't vote, but I definitely be like, Demetrius Coonrod.
That's right.
Come on down. Let's get you into that.
And also the state legislator.
The state legislator. Okay, so one other thing I want to ask you about Project 2025. It looks like the Satanic Bible of the Republican Party. It's 900 pages of regressive, anti-progressive bullcrap. Can you give us some little tidbits of what we need to watch out for, what they're doing, why this is such a scary
we already
situation?
see it. We already see the playbook of Project 2025 in play. We see the restriction of women's rights through Half the Nation. Right. We see the banning of books, the banning of literature. We see the regression of the vote, the oppression of the vote. We see the oppression of other minorities, racial minorities. We see the white Christian nationalism that's taking on a flame throughout the country. That is the playbook of the Project 2025. Right. And that is what their mission is. They want to disband our Department of Justice. They want to disband the DOJ. They want to disband the FBI. They want to disband the DEA. They want to be able to put officers in your bedroom. They want to be able to determine who you have relations with and how often you guys have relations. They want to take it back to the time where women could not get credit cards on their own. The credit cards had to be in their husband's name. They want to take it back to a time where women could not get divorces. They want to take it back to a time where white men dominated.
Yeah. Obviously.
When they believed America was great again. But you know what? In the words of Kamala, we're not going back.
We're not going back. She need to put it in like, we ain't going back. That's what she should put. We ain't going back.
Well, you know.
Again, white supremacy professionalism is a product of white supremacy. But yeah, we ain't going back. That's what I'm going to say. Like we be saying, Kamala, we ain't going back. AAB that shit. Because we ain't going back. I ain't doing it, honey. My parents made it through, but they had strikingly terrible PTSD. I ain't doing it.
Period. I can't handle it. I'm not gonna deal with it.
Well, I want to end this on my last question. Two last questions. One thing. How did you feel about Kendrick and Drake?
I mean, they not like us.
I gotta you gotta pop out and show niggas.
Period. They not like us.
Right. Okay.
My last my dreads.
Yeah. My last question to you: if you were president, what 3 things would you do on your first? Like, if you were president right now, what would be the 3 things that you would do to change America for the better?
First thing I would do would strike away our student loans. Like, gone, just complete gone. Like, executive order, sue me, but they're gone.
Right.
2, I would expand the court so I could do whatever I wanted to. And then thirdly, I would heavily invest to ending homelessness. Amen. in America. Since the Supreme Court has prosecuted homelessness and made homelessness a crime.
Like how?
They have made it into a way for states to ban homelessness, to ban encampments on state property, parks, byways and interstate passes and things of that nature. So they have criminalized homelessness in America. Yeah. And instead of criminalizing homelessness, let's just end homelessness by putting people in homes. And that's what I would do. I would make homes affordable, and I would make it to where anyone could afford a home.
Beautiful. Well, Sean, thank you so much for coming back, being my first guest. My first guest in 8 months. For those who don't know, I was out because I lost my mom, and I know you lost your parent, and you know it's the fucking worst. So I'm just thankful. I'm thankful that you were able to come on, and this has been a blast. I look forward to having more conversations about this. I would love to do something one day, like if we could figure it out, do like a live in person in front of people, because we need to get this information out to our local people. And because I feel like you can disseminate the information in a very digestible way. And we got to be more integrated. We have to be more active in our own like world, in our own lives, and stop hoping somebody gonna save us, because ain't gonna be no political Jesus coming down. The real Jesus.
Right, like at this point, like you're only gonna get one Obama.
Yeah.
We had them, guys.
Yeah.
We gotta move on.
Mm-hmm.
Like you only strike lightning in the bottle like maybe once or twice. This may be our twice. This may be our second time with Kamala. Obama, Kamala, it kind of rhymes. So you never know.
We like the us.
Right. I am definitely, it is my fervent prayer that she is elected. Like you're saying, we need to get this information out. So I'm definitely going to be in contact with you and some people that I know that, got a studio and all that good stuff. So we'll be able to get some people in the studio and go live and all that good things. But
that'll be awesome.
It's always a pleasure to be with you, my love. I love talking with you and sharing this space, this holistic, affirming, positive, supportive space that is always about SEL, social and emotional learning, and just being better, making ourselves better people.
Amen. Well, I look forward to let the people know where they can find you, how they can support. Hopefully we'll see you on the ballot 2028. I vote for you.
People have been asking for me to run again.
I know it takes a lot.
It does take a lot. I've been able to get a lot of my initiatives passed without being on the ballot.
Okay.
So, I was able to get the new Lookout Stadium initiative actually pushed through.
Oh, that was you, okay?
Yes, honey, even though a lot of people try to take credit for it, that was me. That was part of my campaign plan. So
I can't wait. I know the person who did that.
Right. So I look forward to working with a lot of the powers that be here on the state and local level here in Tennessee, and some people in the federal level in the upcoming new cycle. Like, I'm excited. I'm excited even to go toe-to-toe with state Republicans because I know that when one person fights the battle, everyone gets the victory. And I love a vicarious victory. Yeah. So I love working for the people. So
yes. Well, thank you so much again. I look forward to this conversation. And everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to Cosigns and Tangents. I will be posting this on Facebook as well as my normal platform. And next time I will make sure to hit the live button sooner. So I forgot how to work it. But I just need you to stay on a little bit after this so I can make sure it uploads properly. But as always, everyone, I love you and bye-bye.